I watched him writhe on the living room floor, panting with a dry mouth that didn't seem like my dog's. A few seconds before, we'd been playing, and then he, my lifelong companion, started vomiting and shaking. In my hand was the empty bag of grapes I'd planned to eat calmly. And in my stomach, a cold emptiness. In that instant, I knew I'd done something irreversible without realizing it. I'd given him grapes. If you have a dog, stop everything and listen to this in full. What I'm about to tell you could save your best friend's life. Subscribe and stay until the end, because we're going to look at signs, mistakes, and what really works in an emergency. My dog's name is Bruno. He's 4 years old, medium-sized, and since he arrived home, he's been the king of absent-mindedness. He steals socks, sneaks into the kitchen, and has a supernatural ability to detect human food 3 rooms away. I'm one of those who give him a little peace when he looks at us with that face. I won't deny that I often do it out of affection and because of the inertia of shared family meals. That afternoon was Sunday, and we had invited a friend over to watch soccer. We bought a tray of fruit to snack on: grapes, strawberries, melon. Between laughter and goals, no one thought to remove the fruit from Bruno's reach. In a moment of carelessness, perhaps when I went to the kitchen to get my drink, the bag ended up on the coffee table. Bruno is a ninja. In the blink of an eye, his snout was inside the bag. I watched the scene almost in slow motion. He plucked grapes with small bites, chewed without enthusiasm, and swallowed them. At that moment, I thought, bah, a few grapes won't do anything for him, like many people think about things we eat. Wrong. Almost immediately after eating, Bruno started behaving differently, restless, looking for me, then vomiting a little and calming down. A false sense of relief washed over me. He'll get over it. The word poison didn't even cross my mind. If you're one of those who thinks a grape can't hurt, listen to this. Grapes and raisins can cause acute kidney failure in dogs, and no one knows why some dogs are more sensitive than others. When a dog ingests grapes or raisins, the most feared risk is developing acute kidney failure. This isn't a minor complication. It means the kidneys can stop filtering toxins. The animal can accumulate dangerous amounts of waste, fluids, and electrolytes, and the condition can progress in a matter of hours. Uncertainty is part of the terror. There's no clear X grams per kilo rule that applies to all dogs. Some tolerate small amounts, others collapse after a couple of grapes. That makes it treacherous. Furthermore, the first symptoms are often mistaken for temporary discomfort: vomiting, diarrhea, lethargy. The owner thinks it'll pass, and that delay can mean the difference between a full recovery and permanent kidney problems, or worse. My dilemma was immediate. Should I wait a few hours to see if Bruno improved or take him to the vet right away? Every minute counted. Terrifying questions popped into my head. Had I been negligent? What steps should I take first? Can I induce vomiting at home, or will that make it worse? How long do we have before it's irreversible? What I did know for sure was this: I couldn't wait for the symptoms to get better on their own. That's the trap that ensnares many owners. In animals with the potential for acute kidney injury, acting quickly and with the guidance of a professional saves lives. The first minute after seeing him vomit was pure adrenaline. I had the empty bag of grapes in my hand and Bruno was trembling at my feet. I took a deep breath and called the emergency vet. While I was talking, they told me what I had suspected. Bring him in now, and if you can, bring us the bag or tell me how many grapes he ate and how much he weighed. I tried to count, poorly and quickly, maybe 8 to 10 grapes. He weighs about 18 kilos. On the phone, the technician's voice was clear and undramatic. Come with him, and if they tell you to, we can induce vomiting if he ingested it less than 2 hours ago. In the car, I felt guilty and a little stupid. How had I not been informed? In the emergency room, they treated me quickly. They asked for the information: how much, what type, fresh grapes, raisins, etc., and how long ago it had been. Bruno was restless, drooling, and licking himself. At the clinic, the battery of actions began, which in my mind ranged from the basic to the unfeasible. The protocol they explained to me, and which I now want you to memorize if it ever happens to you, was this, summarized and explained calmly. Immediate evaluation. The vet examines vital signs, assesses hydration, and decides on the strategy. Induction of vomiting, only under professional supervision if ingestion occurred within the first 1 to 2 hours. Controlled induction of vomiting can eliminate much of the unabsorbed toxin. But don't do it at home without professional advice because it can cause more damage in certain cases. Activated charcoal can be used to reduce the absorption of toxins in the digestive tract. Aggressive intravenous fluids. The cornerstone of treatment to prevent kidney damage is vigorous hydration. Fluids help increase renal flow and flush toxins. Kidney function monitoring. Blood tests are performed to measure creatinine and urea, and urine monitoring is performed. Advanced support. If kidney failure develops, he may require prolonged hospitalization, diuretics, electrolyte management, and in extreme cases, hemodialysis. While they explained this to me, Bruno was lightly sedated to facilitate the induction of vomiting. I felt a mixture of relief we had reacted and anxiety, will it be enough? The vet told me that some dogs experience vomiting and diarrhea and recover with fluids, and others progress to kidney failure. There's no way to predict 100%, he said. That uncertainty was like walking on thin ice. The first 12 hours were a whirlwind. Bruno received 4 fluids, activated charcoal, and was monitored. His blood was drawn every few hours. In that emergency lab, I saw the numbers change in real time. Small increases in creatinine made me clench my jaw. The staff was professional, warm, yet directive. Just what you need in a crisis. By the middle of the day, I noticed Bruno wasn't panting like he used to. Her breathing calmed and her eyes regained some brightness. It was a respite I'll never forget, although the lab results were still the harshest judge. Tests were run 12 and 24 hours later to ensure her kidneys weren't suffering. 24 hours later, her levels remained stable. It was a small victory. During that wait, I learned things that I want to make clear to you today. Never underestimate time. If you can get to a vet in less than 2 hours, inducing vomiting can be decisive. Early hydration matters. For fluids aren't a luxury, they're preventative medicine for the kidneys. Monitor the urine. If your dog starts urinating less or not at all, it's a warning sign, and urea indicates serious kidney damage. Don't believe the myths. A grape can't hurt can be a statement. There's no universally safe dose. In addition to the medication, there was a huge emotional component. I called the family, cried in the car while waiting for news, and realized how dependent a dog is on us. It's not drama, it's responsibility. I felt guilty for my carelessness, but also grateful that I acted in time. 48 hours later, Bruno was still under observation. The staff pampered him. They gave him IVs and kept him comfortable. Little by little, he became interested in food, although he didn't want to at first. They explained to me that even when he seems safe, his recovery may require monitoring and dietary adjustments to protect his kidneys in the future. The moment that sticks most with me was when, on the second day, the vet said to me in a low voice, "If you had arrived 2 hours later, we could have been in a different situation." Early treatment seems to have prevented the worst. I felt like the world was giving me a second chance, but I was also struck by the brutality of what could have happened. When I was taken to see Bruno, I found him curled up with his 4-drip, but wagging his tail when he saw me. A small, but for me enormous movement that filled me with gratitude and tears. In that instant, I understood that the difference between telling the story and not telling it had been timing and the right action. The vet added a sentence I will never forget. "The important thing now is that you learn how to prevent and protect him. Most of these incidents are avoidable." The gravity of the message was clear and pushed me to turn my guilt into a serious commitment to education and prevention. Bruno spent 3 nights in observation. His kidney levels didn't reach levels that indicated failure, and after 72 hours, he was released to me with clear instructions: creatinine monitoring for 1 week, a renal diet if necessary, and above all, no grapes, raisins, or potentially toxic foods within his reach. I learned a set of practical rules that I'll share with you here, direct and unvarnished. If your dog eats grapes/raisins, call the vet immediately. Provide complete information: how many, what type, how much the dog weighs, and how long ago. Don't improvise vomiting at home unless directed by a veterinarian. Sometimes it's indicated, other times it's not. Only a professional can decide. Bring the sample or bag with you. It helps accurately identify the food. Prioritize rapid transport and hydration. Early 4 fluids are key to avoiding kidney damage. Observe urination. Less urine equals alarm. Stop normalizing risk. The phrase "it didn't happen to me" is useless. Act like it's serious. When I brought Bruno home, I made a contingency plan. Signs in the house saying "no grapes on the table," closed trash cans, education with family and friends, and a list of safe and dangerous foods posted near the refrigerator. I changed my habits. No eating loose food on the couch, always having the emergency veterinary number and the animal poison control center handy. Today Bruno is on the couch snoring as if nothing had happened. Every snore reminds me that life can be fragile and that prompt attention made all the difference. I'm glad he's still here, that his tail is wagging without fear again, and that his gaze once again asks for more of my mistakes transformed into care. If I want you to take away anything from this story, it's simple. Prevention and quick reaction are the name of the game. Guilt isn't paralyzing you, it's learning to protect. Talk to your family, educate your friends, put those grapes away, and if the worst happens, call the vet now. If this story was helpful to you, subscribe for more true stories and advice that will truly make you a better owner. Like if you think more people should know this, and share in the comments if your dog has ever eaten something dangerous. Your experience can save someone else. Thank you for listening to this confession. I hope it saves you the anguish I went through. Take care of your own, because they can't say be careful, you do it for both of you.